Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Jodie Whittakers is out, Craig Lee is in. Look, BBC, Jodie's leaving the show soon. You're gonna need someone to replace her. So let's make this happen, okay? But until we get that cool, everyone, let's take a break and dive in to Doctor Who, the movie. One day, back in 2005, I was sitting in my room alone, and my mum came in and asked if I wanted to come and watch a brand new show that was starting called Doctor Who. I, of course, had no interest in watching a show about doctors at age 6. But I reluctantly went downstairs, and for the next hour I was wrapped up in this fast-paced adventure across London filled with plastic monsters and a mysterious alien Time Lord. I loved it, and I loved the episode after that, and the one after that, and the one after that, and the one after that, on and on for the majority of my life. And although I may have fallen off of the show within the last few years, regardless of all that, I still love Doctor Who, whether that is the classic series or the newer seasons. And while the new reboot has been universally loved, the section of Who which has received potentially the least love over the years was the first attempt to bring Doctor Who back after its suspension by BBC in 1989. That is, of course, Doctor Who, the movie, a co-production between BBC and Universal Studios. The movie was intended to act as a backdoor pilot for a new American-produced Doctor Who TV series. And as much as an American production of potentially the most iconic British TV series of all time sounds like a terrible idea, it would have been cool to have gone like a Doctor Who roller coaster at the Universal Studios theme parks. I mean, that being said, after actually watching the movie, there's no doubt in my mind that everything worked out in the end as it should, by the show getting rebooted by the BBC in 2005. This film marks the beginning and end of Paul McGann's tenure as the 8th Doctor. Sure, he later appeared in the short film Night of the Doctor in the lead up to the 50th anniversary, and yes, he has reprised his role in plenty of audio dramas throughout the years, but this movie is his only major entry as the 8th Doctor, and that's a shame because he is by far the best part of the movie. Paul McGann is easily the best part of this. He's charismatic, handsome, quick-witted and smart, and it's his performance that really keeps the film going. The writers here know how the Doctor acts, and so does McGann. He makes the role his own, but keeps it faithful to its roots, which is ultimately what every Doctor is meant to do. It's a shame we never got to see more of him. There's always the chance they could remedy this with the upcoming 60th anniversary though, so fingers crossed. The film also has a couple of unique companions in Grace Holloway and Chang Lee, although neither of them do enough to become particularly memorable. Sylvester McCoy gets to return for a couple of final scenes as the 7th Doctor, and although it's a shame to get to see his version go out on such a flat note, I am glad he at least gets to return, albeit for a short time. And that brings us to Eric Roberts' version of The Master. I think, again, credit has to go to the people behind this for making sure that the Doctor and the Master castings were so spot on as rival Time Lords. He does a great job here as the nefarious villain, and it's once again disappointing that this is his only appearance. The design of the inside of the TARDIS here is gorgeous as well, and just like steeped in detail. Unfortunately, it appears that most of the budget went here, as the rest of the film's settings are basic and uninteresting. Doctor Who stories can be set anywhere, and the fact that their first venture into movies is just another story set on Earth is disappointing. There's not even any cool aliens in this one. The Doctor loses his memory, and it's not until over halfway through that he even knows who he is. Not only is this an overused plot point, but it once again just slows the story down to a slog. Not that there's much going on anyway. The only event that happens in this plot is they travel from a hospital to a party to the TARDIS. That's all that happens, over 90 minutes. That's barely enough to fill a regular 60-minute episode of the show, let alone a feature-length film. Doctor Who the movie has its problems. Poor pacing, a mediocre story and script keep it from being anything other than a mediocre entry into one of the longest running series of all time. But it's still a decent amount of fun, largely due to McGann's captivating run in the role. I couldn't recommend this to a newcomer. There are so many better Who stories out there, but for those of us who are fans of the series, it's probably something that you should check out at some point. You'll enjoy it. Whoa, what's that? I'm getting a call. Hello? Whoa. Mr. BBC, yes, of course, it's great to hear from you. Yes. Yes. Yes, of course, I understand. Yeah, well, thank you for letting me know, yes. That was Mr. John BBC. They were going to give me the role as the Doctor, but then they watched my review and saw how much I loved Paul McGann, and so they're just going to get him back. That's fine. That's great. I love him. I'm just gonna go to my TARDIS for a little bit. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Which of course for me is a few seconds from now, because TARDIS.